All right, well, today is Friday the 13th, and it comes with a lot of superstition. But depending on what you believe, is it bad luck or is it good luck?
That
All right,
broken glass video is just too much for me.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm Erin LeBeau.
And I'm Shirley Chan in for Tamsin tonight. Well, Friday the 13th happens at least once every year, and no one knows the origins of the superstitious date, but certain cultures have always regarded the number 13 as an unlucky number.
Okay, so joining us now to explain is fourth generation psychic medium Linda Lauren. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure. I love it.
So, Linda, can you break this down for us? Explain, how did Friday the 13th become so popular and also have this kind of negative connotation?
Well, it's really simple. Back in around, I guess it was around 1907, a book came out. It was by Thomas Lawson, and it was called Friday the 13th. And in the book, it was about a stockbroker who deliberately makes the stock market crash.
Oh.
Now enter the New York Times. They got a hold of the story, and a year later, they recognized Friday the 13th as superstitious, and they made it bad luck because of that.
All right, so is it really considered an unlucky day or just a spooky day?
I don't consider it spooky or unlucky. I consider it a day where you should use the energy wisely. It's very positive. I don't know where they get the negative except for that book, but basically if you are in a positive place and you don't feed into all that, the negative hearsay of superstitions. My mother used to call it superstitions, you know. And so you have to really get yourself distanced from that and know that it's positive. I know so many people, myself included, who have won money on those days.
All right.
There you
Well,
go.
speaking of
Yeah.
money, we have the Mega Millions drawing tonight. Some people have some superstitions. Should the date actually affect their decision to play?
No. Go for it. I actually tell my clients and my friends to go and pick a number, to go there and buy tickets.
Make sure 13 is in there.
Yeah, well, you can, but it's not going to matter.
Right.
It's just, you got to be positive.
It's all about
That's what
channeling that energy, right? All right,
Yes, it is.
let's talk about some superstitions that people have. First,
Okay.
those broken mirrors. What does the broken mirror superstition mean?
You got, back in the day, the Romans and the Greeks, they believed that mirrors, if they were dipped into any kind of a liquid like a mercury, they would form a glass, and seers back in their time would actually go through the trouble of reading. Now, if they read and the mirror broke, they were considered to be hurting the windows of the soul, which is what they thought the mirrors were. Now, that supposedly led to 7 years bad luck. Now, only 7 years? Because the Romans and the Greeks felt that at that time that you renewed your body, so you came back fresh. So it wasn't forever. It wasn't bad luck forever.
Okay, so the next one is walking under a ladder. A superstition that many people have. Should you really do it? Avoid it?
Well, I think you should avoid it for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Like that you could get hurt. But basically, they believed back in, not Romans, it was, I would say Egyptians times. The space between the wall and the ladder supposedly had spirits, both good and bad. And if you went under the ladder, you disturbed the spirits and got them angry.
This is
Okay.
fascinating.
Interesting.
All right, so the next one, something that you might see a lot of chefs do is they toss the salt over their shoulder. What does that
left
mean?
shoulder.
Oh yeah, the left shoulder. We got to be careful.
Forget chefs. My mother used to do it all the time. And she used to tell me, well, you know what? It's because the devil's back there, and if you spill the salt, you got to get rid of the devil.
I'm going to just throw it all around.
That's
Not just over the left shoulder. Okay, so Linda, we have to ask you, do you have any superstitions of your own?
Yes. No shoes on the table, no hats on the
okay.
bed. Now, shoes on the table has to do with back in the time of miners, where they were doing mining. If a miner died in one of the pits or the caves, they always put his boots on a table forever as a means of honoring him.
Interesting.
So that's like, you don't want to do that anyway, right? I mean, you don't want to put. And then with a hat, they, for some reason, and back in the 1800s, they thought that a hat could hold all the negativity in your head.
Wow.
So if you put it in the bed,
Yep.
all those negative spirits would go into your sleep and you'd have bad dreams.
Okay.
So I'm not really a superstitious person because my
Yeah,
uncle
neither am I.
Stevie Wonder said superstition ain't the way. But I do know that my mother used to say, don't put your purse on the floor because you'll end up broke or something.
I've heard that before.
Well,
No,
actually,
I've heard
don't
that
put your
before.
purse on the floor.
I've heard that a lot.
Somebody could steal it.
Yeah,
They could
or that
also
too.
keep it
Someone could
dirty.
steal it.
What about you, Shirley?
Yeah. Well, my mom doesn't like the number 4 because in our culture, 4 means death. When you say the number 4, it also sounds like
Well,
death.
now that's another aspect that in terms of deep cultural feelings.
Yeah.
You know, like there are people who won't burn a white candle because they think that's negative,
Oh.
but they'll do a black candle. So the number 4 for people in my family, sometimes it's the number 3. It's very odd, but don't put too much into it.
So play the lottery tonight and play the number 13 if you choose.
Enjoy. In fact, celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Just be the good vibe in the room.
Be
Well,
the good vibe, and that I think that's all you need to do. But always look at those kind of things with a positive spin.
all right,
Good
well,
advice.
Linda,
That's what you want.
always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, take care. God bless. Thank you.